This is a story called The Little Monsters at Christmas. Chapter 35. The kids go round the homes of the elderly and disabled, handing out Christmas food and presents. It's Christmas, and the kids have all been taught from a very young age that Christmas isn't just about receiving, it's about giving and kindness. They've decided that they want to spread some kindness and giving by doing something for those less fortunate than themselves. You know, the elderly and the disabled can't get out during the bad weather. I think that we should buy food and make up hampers for those people so they don't go hungry this Christmas. Then we can take it to their doors and give it to them, said Stumpy. That's a fantastic idea, said Bumpy. They all got their money together, and the first thing they did was buy loads of empty boxes to put the hampers in. They took them back to Kicker's house and then went shopping. When they went back to Kicker's house, all their parents were there, and they asked them why they'd bought the boxes and food. When the kids told them what their plan was, they couldn't believe it. They offered to help them, but they wanted to do it themselves. They left them to it, and that day they packed up loads of boxes full of food, ready to be taken to the houses of the elderly and the disabled. That night they all stayed at Kicker's house, and by the time they went to bed, at about 11 p.m. they'd already packed up around 15 boxes. The next morning they all got up at about 8 a.m. They had their breakfast and got themselves ready. Then they packed up some more boxes. When it got to about 10 a.m. they went out into the community and delivered some other hampers. They wrote down all the addresses of the houses they went to so that they won't go to the same house twice. That day they didn't even stop for lunch, and for once even Stumpy didn't complain about being hungry, much to everyone's amusement. By tea time they were hungry, so they went back to Kicker's house for tea. After tea they went back out, delivering some more hampers. When they went back to Kicker's house, they spent about 4 hours packing up more boxes ready to take round to the elderly and disabled. The next day they went round again handing out the hampers, and people just couldn't believe how kind they were. Their parents couldn't have been more proud of them if they'd tried. The day after that the kids went and did some more shopping, and they bought some more boxes too. They took everything back to Kicker's house again and spent the day boxing up the hampers ready to be delivered the following day. The next day they went a bit further afield because they'd already delivered to people close to where they live. They know that there's quite a few sheltered housing complexes shouted about, so they went to one of them. They delivered to quite a few flats, and then they went back to Kicker's house to pick up some more hampers. Then they went out delivering them all again. Whilst they were out they came across a street that was just for the elderly and disabled, so they went round delivering their hampers. When they'd finished, they went back to Kicker's house to pack up some more hampers, ready for the next day. The next day they went out delivering their hampers again. They spent all day delivering hampers, and whilst they were out, they spotted an elderly couple struggling with their shopping. They knew them and they knew where they lived, so they helped them home and carried their shopping for them. Before they left them, they gave them a Christmas hamper. They were really happy with this, and they offered the kids money, but they refused to take it. Later that day they did some more shopping for the hampers. Again they went back to Kika's house to pack everything up ready for delivery. The next day it was snowing, but they were adamant that they were going out to deliver their hampers. They got wrapped up warm and off they went. During the time they were out, they saw a lady on foot struggling to carry her shopping, so they went over and carried it for her. As they were hamper, she was really happy with it and she couldn't thank them enough. The next day they realised that they'd forgotten to hand out presents to people, so they went round all of the addresses that they'd ordered. No one could believe how kind these kids were. When they'd finished giving out presents at the addresses where they'd already left hampers, they went back to Kika's house. When they got there, they had their tea and then they packed up some more hampers and wrapped up some more presents ready to be delivered the following day. The following day, it was thick of snow, so the kids thought that it was more important than ever to go around delivering the hampers and presents to the elderly and disabled. They spent the whole day doing this despite how cold it was. They even shovelled people's garden paths so that if they did need to go out, they wouldn't fall. Quite a few people tried to give them money, but they refused to take it. Over the next couple of days, the kids went round delivering as many hampers and presents as they could. When they'd finished, they had loads of stuff left and they didn't know what to do with it. Then Grumpy said, "There's children's homes and foster homes around here, and people living in poverty. We can take everything we have left to them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. After all, it is Christmas, the season of goodwill." "Yeah, that's a great idea," said Bumpy. That day, they all went round and delivered everything that they had to children's homes, foster homes and people living in poverty. Everyone was incredibly grateful and several people tried to give them money, but they refused to take it. That night when they put Kika's TV on, they were on the 6 o'clock news. Then Kika's dad came home with a copy of the Yorkshire Evening Post, and they were in there. They couldn't believe it because as far as they were concerned, they were only spreading their Christmas cheer and kindness. They weren't doing anything special. However, they did inspire other people around the country, kids especially, to do the same thing. This made them feel very proud and happy. End of chapter 35. Thanks for watching, guys. Love yous. Bye.